As y'all can probably tell, it's early morning, super foggy out. The sun's about to rise, and I'm about to go fishing. But first, we need to grab an energy drink so I can wake the hell up. Them deer over there. That's fire. But we are out here at the bass fishing spot now. And today, since it's early morning and the sun hasn't rose yet, we're gonna be doing some topwater bass fishing. So we got here a wacky rigged night crawler with a slide weight. We're about to throw that over there. And then right in here, we got all our top waters. I think I'm gonna start off with a popper. All right, so we're gonna leave that rod set up over there and start throwing this little shad kind of pattern popper. All right, so we switched to this little walking lure or a spook, and then we got the worm rod over there. If y'all got a Sheetz where you live at, you gotta go try one of these. But for the next about 10-15 minutes, I'm gonna take a break from fishing and go on a hike through the woods to the next spot. So I'll meet y'all there. All right, y'all, we arrived at the next spot. And the water is pretty much all gone. That's all right. We'll still find where the water is and where the fish are at in the water. So let's get into it. Just right out into that little gap in the channel there. That's perfect. And then this I'm gonna bring and throw out that way. And then this I'm gonna throw out that way. Okay, so we got a bass on a worm. Not really the topwater blow up we were looking for, but still a fish though. It's just a beautiful thing to see. Fuck! Big ass spider web, bro. Damn, bitch, I walked right into that shit. I think when I walked into the spider web earlier, it was actually a sign. You know, I'm starting to rethink some of my choices because I'm out here trying to sight fish bass in like 10 inches of water with a spider. So I think it's time to regroup here. All right, y'all. So we're not doing too hot on the top waters right now, but I think we've got about a 40-minute window, a 40-minute period where a top water bite is still probable. So we got to switch up something that we're doing. So I've come to an executive decision to go to the opposite side of the dam. And but I'm gonna need you guys to do me a favor and keep your eyes peeled, because we are now in bobcat territory. So just keep a lookout for me, guys. Can anybody tell me what type of bird that is based off of the prints? I know that's a raccoon. Just a shame, there's a dead bass right there. And it looks like somebody probably released that and let it die. See, guys, I wouldn't lie to y'all. The bobcat, look, I would never lie to y'all about this. The bobcats own this side of the dam. They just let me fish here sometimes. But I think I've had this jitterbug tied on, fishing down there a little bit, and didn't get anything. So I might throw it once or twice over here, but then I'm tying on a frog. Really, I just want y'all to see the action of this jitterbug. So I'm just gonna throw it one time so y'all can see the action. This is a random lure my dad gave me a couple years ago, but I didn't throw it until today. And after seeing the action, it could definitely work for some bass. But watch this. Y'all see this? You get a better cast than that. Y'all witnessing this? That is the coolest lure I've ever thrown, I think. But now I got this scum frog tied on. I'm gonna do a little power fishing and just toss it all over this side of the dam as fast as possible. Sometimes in life you gotta make a sacrifice to catch bass. I just hope it works. Get all that bird shit. This better have been worth it, I swear. Well, even though it didn't help me catch a bass at all whatsoever, it was kind of worth it because this is a cool view from up here. So I guess at this point I'm just kind of forced to accept the fact I'm not going to catch a bass on top water, but I do want to catch some more bass and some bigger bass, so I got a little bit of a plan brewing in my head. All right, so my plan was that I walked back to the other side of the dam, and there's one spot where there's a bunch of fallen trees at, and I was hoping that maybe I could find a decent sized bass in there. And I threw my worm in, and about 2-3 minutes later, a rock bass came up and took it, and then as soon as he got hooked, he just started weaving in and out of the branches of the tree and snapped me off. So I left, and now I'm done. Oh, and also on the way to that spot, my boots were covered in like 4 inches of mud, and I slipped down a very steep hill, and I landed with my chest into a tree, and so now my ribs hurt, and I'm probably not gonna be fishing for at least like 2-3 days, because that really hurt. I put a real ass day of work in though. Y'all's boots ain't never been this dirty off of fishing. And that's just simply because y'all got soft hands. Your hands are so soft that you could handle a trout without getting your hands wet and it would be perfectly fine. Me, shit, if my finger even slips along the side of a bass's face, it'll rip it off. Just straight up rip the bass's face off. Just from my finger slipping out of his mouth and poking his face. His face will fall off.